All right, ready to unlock some seduction secrets.
Let's do it.
We're diving deep into the Bible of Seduction by ALEX HILGERT.
This guy really breaks it all down, from psychology to body language, even ancient practices. It's a pretty wild ride through the world of seduction.
Well, hold on tight, because we're about to uncover some seriously fascinating stuff. Starting with, believe it or not, walking.
Walking.
Yeah, HILGERT says your gait can reveal a lot about you, about your personality.
Huh, interesting. I never thought about that.
So picture this. You're at a party, and someone walks in with this super confident heel-toe stride.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. They command attention.
Exactly. And according to HILGERT, that kind of walk is a sign of maturity and balance. It's like, think George Clooney strolling into a room.
Okay, yeah, I get it. Total Clooney vibes.
Right. Now imagine someone totally different, someone kind of tiptoeing in, leading with their toes.
Oh, okay. A little more hesitant, maybe unsure of themselves.
Exactly. HILGERT links that kind of walk with a lack of self-assurance. It's fascinating, right? How much we communicate without even saying a word.
It really is. Like, our bodies are constantly giving off signals.
Totally. And speaking of unspoken communication, let's get into some serious body language decoding.
All right, lay it on me. What kind of secret cues should we be looking for?
Well, HILGERT breaks down all sorts of things. Like, let's say you're chatting with someone and they lean in, tilting their head slightly.
Okay, that's a good sign, right? They're engaged. They want to hear more of what you're saying.
Exactly. They're literally closing the distance between you. It's like they're drawn to you.
Got it. So leaning in, good. What about if they suddenly cross their arms and lean back?
Ooh, that's a different story. That's like putting up a wall, right? Maybe they're feeling defensive or closed off.
It's like a poker player trying to hide their cards.
Totally. It's like a real-life game of Clue, but instead of figuring out the weapon, you're trying to decipher if they're into you or not.
Love that analogy. Okay, so leaning in, good. Crossing arms, not so good. What else should we be paying attention to?
Well, HILGERT also mentions touching the face or playing with objects as a sign of
Of what? Don't leave me hanging.
a desire to be touched.
Wait, really? So, like, if someone's constantly fiddling with their necklace or stroking their chin?
It could be a subconscious way of saying, hey, touch me.
Wow. I never would have guessed that. You know, it makes me think of those movie scenes where a character seductively runs a finger around the rim of a glass.
Yes, exactly like that. It's like they're sending out a subtle invitation.
It's amazing how much we can communicate without actually saying a word. These subtle cues can totally change how we perceive someone.
Absolutely. And speaking of touch, HILGERT throws in this really intriguing technique called do-in.
Do-in. What's that? Sounds kind of like a martial art or something.
Well, it's actually an ancient massage technique, but with a bit of a twist.
Ooh, a twist, huh? I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So, HILGERT suggests that applying pressure to specific points on the body can do more than just relax your partner.
Wait, hold up. Are we talking massage for arousal?
You got it.
Okay, this just got interesting. So how does this do-in thing actually work?
Well, the basic idea is that you're stimulating energy flow by applying pressure to certain points. HILGERT mentions points on the face, hands, feet, even legs.
And this can lead to increased arousal.
That's what he suggests. And what's really clever is that it allows for natural physical contact, building trust and comfort.
It's like a mix of ancient wisdom and modern-day seduction.
Right. HILGERT's full of these unexpected connections. But let's move on from touch, because he also dives deep into the psychology of color. Apparently, different hues can trigger specific emotions and influence attraction.
Okay, I've heard of this, like wearing red to a date to signal passion.
Yeah, red is definitely a powerful color, but HILGERT actually cautions against using too much of it. He says it can be overwhelming, even irritating. Think of a bright red room. Not exactly a recipe for a relaxing date night.
That's a good point. So what other color secrets does he spill?
Well, he links yellow to intellect, but again, too much of it can be overwhelming.
Makes sense. So what about blue?
Blue's all about trust and serenity. Think of a calm blue sky.
Ah, that's nice. And what about black?
He associates black with mystery and power, but too much black can be intimidating.
Interesting. And white.
White represents purity and innocence.
Wow, I never thought about colors this way before. So basically, choosing the right color is like sending a subliminal message to your date.
Exactly. It's all about creating the right atmosphere and playing on those unconscious associations.
This is blowing my mind. There are so many layers to this seduction game. It's like a whole secret language we're speaking with our clothes, our body language, even the colors around us.
Right. It's wild. But hey, let's not forget that seduction isn't just about visuals. How we communicate verbally plays a huge role too.
Oh, absolutely. Words matter.
And Hilgert really stresses the importance of listening, especially in those early stages of attraction.
So put down those cheesy pickup lines and open your ears, right?
Exactly. But what about those awkward first date questions? Like finances, past relationships, all that stuff that can be a bit of a minefield.
Ah, yes, the conversational danger zone. Well, Hilgert actually has some pretty smart advice for navigating those tricky topics. He suggests redirecting those potentially mood-killing questions with playful, open-ended ones.
So instead of getting grilled about your salary or your ex, you gracefully steer the conversation in a different direction.
Precisely. Think of it as a conversational swerve. You acknowledge the question, but shift the focus.
Okay, I'm all for avoiding awkward money talk on a first date, but how do you do that without seeming evasive?
Hilgert recommends using humor and charm. Like, imagine someone asks about your ex. Instead of diving into a whole relationship post-mortem, you could say something like, well, let's just say I'm a firm believer in learning from experience. Tell me, what are you looking for in a partner?
Ooh, smooth. It's like deflecting a ninja star with a feather.
Exactly. You maintain a light and playful energy while subtly redirecting the conversation.
Okay, I'm adding that to my arsenal of dating tips for sure. But let's talk about something that can really set the mood. Music.
Ah, music. The language of the soul.
Hilgert seems to think it's a powerful tool for seduction.
Oh, he's absolutely right. Think about how a romantic song can instantly evoke a feeling, a memory. It's like a direct line to our emotions.
So, cue the Barry White, right?
Well, not necessarily. He actually advises against music that's too slow or repetitive.
Really? Why is that?
He says it can actually lead to drowsiness. Think elevator music. Not exactly a recipe for seduction.
Got it. So, what kind of music does he recommend?
He suggests music with a sensual rhythm, a bit of a build-up, and evocative lyrics. Think of a soundtrack that makes you want to move closer to your date.
Okay, I'm getting the picture.
Yeah.
But what about using music to tap into those nostalgic feelings, especially those linked to first love? Hilgert talks about that too, right?
He does. He calls it musical nostalgia, and he believes it can be incredibly powerful. Think about a song that takes you right back to your teenage years, that time when you first experienced the thrill of romance.
Oh man, I totally get that. Those songs can trigger such intense emotions. It's like a time machine for your heart.
Exactly. Hilgert suggests that playing music from your date's teenage years can create a subconscious bond, like you're tapping into their emotional history and creating a feeling of connection.
That's so clever. It's like a musical love potion.
Yeah.
But let's move beyond sound and into the realm of scent. Hilgert argues that smell can be incredibly influential when it comes to attraction.
Oh, absolutely. Scent is so powerful. It triggers memories, emotions, often without us even realizing it.
I've definitely heard that certain scents can be aphrodisiacs.
Hilgert dives into that. He even suggests specific perfumes that he believes have alluring qualities.
Okay, spill the tea. What are these magic potions?
For women, he recommends Crazy Feelings, which he describes as a warm, sensual fragrance.
The name itself is pretty suggestive. What about for men?
For men, he suggests Quasar. He says it's designed to leave a lasting impression.
Intriguing. But does he talk about how individual body chemistry can affect how a fragrance smells?
He does. He emphasizes that even if two people wear the same fragrance, it can smell subtly different on each person. Our unique body chemistry and even our diet can influence how a scent develops.
It's like a personalized love potion. Okay, this is all fascinating, but we've talked a lot about techniques. Does Hilgert address the deeper aspects of compatibility, like what makes for a lasting connection beyond that initial spark?
Absolutely. He uses the concept of yin and yang, those complementary masculine and feminine energies, to explore relationship dynamics.
So like the classic opposites attract idea.
Exactly. He suggests that couples who embody a balance of yin and yang energy tend to have the most fulfilling relationships.
So it's not just about initial attraction, it's about finding someone who complements you, who helps you grow.
Precisely. He even warns against falling for someone solely based on superficial qualities. He says that a truly fulfilling connection goes deeper than looks or status.
Makes sense. Passion can fade, but that deep compatibility can stand the test of time. But how do you figure out if you have that yin and yang balance with someone?
Hilgert gets pretty specific about this. He actually outlines 10 types of couples based on their yang-yin dominance.
Whoa, 10 types. There's a whole system to this.
There is. He dives into the potential pitfalls of each pairing. For instance, he suggests that couples where both individuals are highly dominant, high yang energy, might struggle with power struggles and compromise.
Oh, I can definitely see how that would lead to fireworks.
And on the flip side, he notes that couples where both individuals are highly submissive, high-yin energy, might lack direction and avoid conflict, which can lead to resentment down the line.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot where both individuals assert their needs while respecting their partner's individuality.
He highlights communication, empathy, and a willingness to grow together as essential ingredients for a successful relationship.
This is making me think about the dynamics in my own relationships, how to create more balance.
It's definitely an invitation for self-reflection. But let's go back to something Hilgert emphasizes throughout the book: communication style. He encourages paying attention to not just what someone says, but how they say it.
So like, if someone's talking a mile a minute, that means something specific.
According to Hilgert, yes, he connects rapid speech and a limited vocabulary with potential anxiety or insecurity, perhaps stemming from a restrictive upbringing.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. It's like you're getting a glimpse into their past experiences through their communication style.
Right. It adds a whole new layer to understanding someone.
What about people who speak slowly and deliberately?
He associates that with a more sedentary lifestyle, a lack of dynamism. He also notes that it can be a characteristic of older individuals.
It's interesting how we often judge people based on how they talk, but we rarely consider why they communicate the way they do.
Exactly. And Hilgert's insights encourage us to move beyond those superficial judgments and look deeper. But we should probably address that he doesn't shy away from some of the more controversial aspects of attraction in relationships either.
Oh, right. He does get into some pretty intense territory.
He does. He even delves into the darker side of things, touching on topics like sexual deviations and perversion.
Perversions? Like what?
He touches on a range of things, from exhibitionism to voyeurism, even sadomasochism and necrophilia.
Whoa, okay, that took a dark turn.
It did, but I think his point is to raise awareness about the spectrum of human sexuality and encourage readers to be mindful of potential red flags.
Yet, it's a good reminder that safety and respect should always be priorities.
Absolutely. And speaking of things that can challenge healthy relationships, he also addresses pornography.
Right, he has a whole section on that.
He argues that pornography's pervasiveness can desensitize us to genuine intimacy and distort our views on love and sex.
It creates this unrealistic fantasy world that's hard to reconcile with real-life relationships.
Exactly. Hilgert believes that consciously limiting exposure to pornography can allow for a deeper appreciation of authentic connection and intimacy.
It's definitely something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
It really does make you question things. And, speaking of things that influence our views on relationships, I was thinking about all the stuff we consume that shapes our ideas about love and attraction, like movies, music, books, even social media.
Right, it's everywhere. And Hilgert actually talks about this. He specifically warns against mimicking the seduction techniques we see in movies or on TV.
Oh, you mean like those grand romantic gestures that always seem to work in rom-coms?
Exactly. He says those big, over-the-top moves can often feel forced or inauthentic in real life.
So basically, no showing up with a boombox blasting Peter Gabriel outside someone's window.
Probably not the best move. He emphasizes that true seduction comes from a place of genuineness, not from copying some Hollywood script.
That makes total sense. Authenticity is way more attractive than playing games or trying to be someone you're not.
Right. He believes that by being our true selves, we naturally attract people who appreciate us for who we are.
Okay, so no cheesy pickup lines, no grand gestures, just be yourself. Got it.
Exactly. But one thing that really struck me as we were going through all these techniques and insights is that Hilgert doesn't just focus on attracting someone new. He also talks a lot about maintaining the spark in long-term relationships.
Oh, that's so important. It's easy to let things slide once you're in a comfortable relationship.
He encourages couples to keep things exciting, to try new things together, to be playful, and to never forget to appreciate each other.
It's like those couples you see who have been together for decades but still act like they're on their honeymoon.
Exactly. He emphasizes that a healthy, long-term relationship requires effort, intention. It's a choice you make every day.
I love that. It's not about the initial spark, it's about tending to that fire to keep it burning bright.
And speaking of keeping things interesting, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. Hilgert includes some really beautiful personal reflections at the end of the book. He calls them the thoughts of the mago.
Oh yeah, those were so poetic. It's like he took a step back from all the techniques and shared his own wisdom about love and connection.
He talks about the importance of self-knowledge, of really understanding yourself before you can truly connect with another person.
It's a beautiful reminder that seduction, at its core, is about human connection. It's not about tricks or manipulation. It's about being open and vulnerable and truly seeing the other person.
Beautifully said. And listener, as you continue your own exploration of seduction and attraction, remember that it's a journey, not a destination. Stay curious, stay open, and most importantly, stay true to yourself.
Well said. And that wraps up our deep dive into the Bible of seduction. We've covered everything from body language to massage techniques to color psychology, even delved into the deeper aspects of compatibility and long-term relationships. It's been an incredible journey.
It really has. Hopefully you're walking away with some fresh insights and a new perspective on the art of seduction.
Remember, it's not about trying to become someone you're not. It's about understanding yourself, embracing your unique qualities, and using that self-awareness to create genuine connections.
So until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those sparks flying.